50, that's an everyday number. 50 states in America, 50 weeks in a work year. But what if I told you 50 boats were attacked by killer whales? In the past year, this isn't a drill or a fictional story, this is the reality we are facing. These highly intelligent creatures, once viewed with awe and wonder, are now behaving in ways that are both confusing and concerning. What has changed in the relationship between humans and these ocean giants? What could be causing this alarming trend? For decades, we have studied and admired killer whales. Their complex social structures, their incredible hunting strategies, and their undeniable intelligence have captivated us. They were the wolves of the sea, apex predators who commanded respect. But something has shifted. The very creatures who once seemed to tolerate our presence are now actively engaging in aggressive behavior. Sailboats, once symbols of leisure and freedom, are now being targeted. Is this a case of mistaken identity? Are they simply acting out of frustration? Or is there a deeper, more complex reason behind this change in behavior? Killer whales, or orcas as they are also known, are not actually whales at all. They are the largest members of the oceanic dolphin family. Highly social creatures, they live in pods, often with the same individuals for their entire lives. Their intelligence is undeniable. They have complex communication systems using clicks, whistles, and pulsed calls. Each pod even has its own unique dialect, passed down through generations. For years, divers and whale watchers have marveled at these creatures from a safe distance. Stories abound of their playful nature, their curiosity about humans, and their seemingly gentle interactions. Don't let their playful nature fool you. Orcas are apex predators, meaning they sit at the very top of the food chain. They've earned the nickname wolves of the sea for their coordinated hunting techniques. Their diet is diverse, ranging from fish to seals to even other whale species. They employ a variety of tactics depending on their prey, showcasing their remarkable intelligence and adaptability. One well-documented technique involves creating waves to wash seals off ice floes. Another shows them beaching themselves to catch seals on shore, a risky but effective strategy. Despite their hunting prowess, orcas have rarely posed a threat to humans in the wild. Attacks on humans are incredibly rare, with most documented cases involving captive animals. So, what has changed? The recent surge in orca boat interactions, particularly those involving physical contact and damage, is unprecedented. These are not isolated incidents, a pattern is emerging, and it's one that demands our attention. These encounters are happening with increasing frequency and intensity. Sailboats in particular seem to be the target, with orcas ramming, biting, and even disabling rudders. The scientific community is baffled. Theories abound, but concrete answers remain elusive. Is this a case of misdirected play? Are they mistaking boats for prey, or is something more complex at play? Some scientists believe it could be related to changes in prey availability. As fish stocks decline due to overfishing and climate change, orcas may be forced to hunt in new areas and experiment with new tactics. Others suggest it could be a learned behavior, passed down through generations. A single orca, perhaps injured by a boat in the past, could be teaching others to target these vessels. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear: we are entering uncharted territory. The delicate balance between humans and these ocean giants is shifting, and the consequences remain uncertain. Imagine yourself aboard a sailboat, the sun setting on the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. A gentle breeze propels you across the water, the peace only disturbed by the lapping of waves against the hull. Suddenly, a jarring thud. The boat shudders violently. You're thrown off balance, scrambling to regain your footing. Peering over the edge, you see them, a pod of killer whales, their large black and white bodies circling the boat. Fear grips you. This is not the playful curiosity often associated with these creatures. This is different. There's an intensity in their movements, a deliberate force behind each bump of their bodies against the hull. This terrifying scenario has become a reality for many sailors, particularly in the Strait of Gibraltar. Once a bustling shipping lane, it's now a hotbed for orca boat interactions, some turning dangerous. Reports detail orcas ramming boats repeatedly, damaging rudders, and even sinking vessels. Sailors, once eager to encounter these magnificent creatures, now live with a new kind of fear. One chilling account comes from a couple sailing off the coast of Portugal. Their yacht was suddenly surrounded by a pod of orcas, ramming the hull with such force that the boat spun almost 180 degrees. The attack, which lasted for over an hour, left them terrified and stranded at sea until they were rescued by maritime authorities. As reports flood in, a pattern emerges. Many of the attacks seem to involve a specific group of orcas dubbed the Gladys Pod, named after a female believed to be the leader. This pod, scientists believe, may be responsible for teaching others this aggressive behavior. The question is why? What triggered this shift from curiosity to aggression? Some experts speculate that a negative encounter with a boat, perhaps involving a collision or entanglement in fishing gear, may have sparked this change in behavior. This traumatic experience, passed down through the pod's complex communication system, could be fueling a vendetta against boats. The Gladys theory, as it's come to be known, suggests that this learned behavior is spreading. Young orcas, witnessing the adults interact aggressively with boats, may be imitating these actions. This raises concerns about a domino effect, with more and more orcas adopting this behavior, making the waters increasingly dangerous for boaters. Is this a localized problem, or are we witnessing the beginning of a global phenomenon? The mystery of the orca attacks is far from solved. Scientists are working tirelessly to understand the motivations behind these incidents, and to find ways to mitigate the risk to both humans and these magnificent creatures. But one thing is clear, the relationship between humans and orcas is changing. We are being forced to confront the consequences of our actions, and to acknowledge the power and intelligence of these ocean giants. The question is, can we find a way to coexist peacefully? One of the most prominent theories revolves around the most basic of needs, hunger. As we fish the oceans with increasing efficiency, we deplete the very food sources that orcas rely on. Could these attacks be a desperate attempt to survive? Are these intelligent creatures simply trying to secure a meal in a world where their natural prey is becoming increasingly scarce? Proponents of this theory point to the declining populations of tuna and other fish species that orcas depend on. As these populations dwindle, orcas may be forced to seek alternative food sources, even if it means targeting boats and the potential food they represent. Orcas are highly social animals, their lives governed by intricate communication systems. Information, including hunting strategies and potential dangers, is shared and passed down through generations. Could these attacks be a learned behavior, passed down from one generation to the next? Imagine a young orca witnessing an older individual being injured by a boat, perhaps entangled in fishing gear or struck by a propeller. This traumatic experience, etched into the collective memory of the pod, could be fueling a cycle of aggression. The young, observing and learning from their elders, may be perpetuating the behavior, their actions driven by a combination of fear and a desire for revenge. Our oceans are not just facing the pressures of overfishing. Pollution from industrial waste to agricultural runoff is poisoning the marine environment, with devastating consequences for marine life. Could these toxins be impacting orca behavior? Studies have shown that pollutants can accumulate in the fatty tissues of marine mammals, leading to a range of health problems, including neurological damage. Could these toxins be affecting their cognitive abilities, their judgment, and even their temperament? Are we witnessing the heartbreaking consequences of our own actions as these intelligent creatures suffer the effects of our disregard for the environment? The increasing frequency of orca boat interactions raises a chilling possibility. Are we witnessing a domino effect? As more orcas learn and adopt this aggressive behavior, the problem could escalate exponentially. What began as isolated incidents could become a widespread phenomenon, making the oceans increasingly dangerous for boaters and disrupting marine ecosystems. The delicate balance between humans and these apex predators is teetering on the brink. The question is, can we reverse this trend before it's too late? Can we find a way to coexist peacefully with these intelligent and powerful creatures, or are we destined for a future of conflict and uncertainty? The mystery of the orca attacks is far from solved. Scientists are racing against time to understand the complex interplay of factors driving this unusual behavior. Is it hunger, revenge, environmental toxins, or a combination of these and other unknown elements? The answers to these questions are crucial, not just for the safety of boaters, but for the long-term survival of orcas and the health of our oceans. We must act quickly and decisively to mitigate the risks and find a way to coexist peacefully with these magnificent creatures. The fate of these ocean giants and our own relationship with the sea hangs in the balance. The escalating orca interactions have sparked a global response, a call to action to protect both humans and these magnificent creatures. Sailors, once accustomed to the open ocean's freedom, are now being urged to adopt new safety measures. Authorities are mapping out orca hotspots, advising sailors to avoid these areas or navigate them with extreme caution. Special sonar devices designed to detect orca vocalizations are being tested as an early warning system. These measures, while disruptive, are crucial in preventing further encounters and ensuring the safety of those at sea. But they are only part of a larger solution, a long-term strategy that requires a deeper understanding of the problem and a global commitment to conservation. Gone are the days of carefree sailing in certain parts of the world. The rules of navigation are changing, adapting to the new reality of increased orca activity. Sailors are being trained to recognize the signs of an approaching pod and to respond appropriately. Slowing down, changing course, and even stopping the boat entirely are now considered essential tactics to deter an interaction. Some sailors are experimenting with deterrents such as loud noises or non-harmful acoustic devices, hoping to repel curious orcas. These adaptations, though challenging, are a testament to human ingenuity and our ability to adapt to changing circumstances. But they also highlight the need for a more comprehensive approach, one that addresses the root causes of this unprecedented behavior. The orca attacks are not just a local problem, they are a global concern. International organizations, marine biologists, and policymakers are joining forces, sharing data and expertise to find solutions. Research efforts are being intensified, focusing on understanding the motivations behind these attacks, the role of environmental factors, and the potential for long-term behavioral changes in orca populations. The goal is to develop effective mitigation strategies, balancing the need to protect both humans and these intelligent creatures. The challenge is immense, requiring international cooperation, scientific rigor, and a commitment to finding solutions that benefit all stakeholders. The future of human-orca interactions remains uncertain. Can we find a way to coexist peacefully with these apex predators, or are we destined for a future of conflict and uncertainty? The answer lies in our willingness to understand, adapt, and prioritize the health of our oceans. We must address the root causes of this unprecedented behavior, from overfishing and pollution to habitat destruction and climate change. We must invest in research, education, and conservation efforts that protect both humans and marine life. The challenge is great, but the stakes are even higher. The future of our oceans, and the incredible creatures that call them home, depends on our actions today. Predicting the future is a tricky business, especially when it comes to the natural world. But by studying the past and present, scientists can offer glimpses into what might lie ahead for the relationship between humans and orcas. The data paints a concerning picture. If the current trend continues, orca boat interactions, including those involving aggression, are likely to increase in the coming years. This unsettling prediction stems from a confluence of factors: the growing orca populations, the increasing human presence in their waters, and the ongoing environmental pressures that are disrupting marine ecosystems. The future needn't be one of inevitable conflict. The key lies in acknowledging that we share the oceans with these intelligent and powerful creatures. Education and awareness are paramount. By understanding orca behavior, respecting their space, and minimizing our impact on their environment, we can foster a more harmonious relationship. Imagine a future where encounters are characterized not by fear and aggression, but by mutual respect and wonder. A future where humans and orcas coexist, their destinies intertwined in the vast tapestry of life on Earth. 50 boats, 50 lives disrupted, 50 encounters that speak of a larger shift occurring in our oceans. The rise of killer whale attacks on boats is a stark reminder that we are not alone on this planet. We share these waters with creatures far more powerful than ourselves, creatures whose intelligence and social complexity we are only beginning to grasp. The question is, can we find a way to coexist? Can we bridge the gap between our world and theirs, a world where respect, understanding, and conservation pave the way for a future where both humans and orcas can thrive?